Well, hi everyone. I'm John Rethlin, and this is my review of AEW Dark. More squash matches, please. That's pretty much what this was. Much like last week's edition, that was 50 minutes with seven matches. This is 32 minutes with 4 matches, and we didn't even start the first match until almost 5 minutes in. So you know that a lot of these matches were really goddamn quick. Not a bad thing though. You feature some indie towns, some local guys that are willing to go down there, and hey, maybe they get a chance to get some more bookings once all this stuff calms down. But it is nice to use independent talents and see what they can do. And hey, maybe even sign a couple of them and they could become future stars. Who the fuck knows? So anyway, Cody Rhodes. He is Cody Rhodes. He is not just Cody. He is Cody Rhodes. And Tony Schiavone welcome us. And they talk about the brand new championship that's going to be coming. It's the AEW TNT Championship. Okay, first off, not a big fan of the name. I'm really not. I would have preferred the AEW TV Championship, since other promotions do have a TV championship, but who the fuck knows? Maybe TNT wanted to say, said, hey, we're paying you all this money. We want a championship named after us. Maybe that's possible. Maybe they thought this was creative. I'm not a big fan of it, but I like the idea of a mid-card championship, because they can build a pretty good mid-card division. And with the four people that they've announced so far, I got a pretty good idea who I would like to be the first champion. But honestly, it's a good idea. Name aside, not necessarily a big fan of the name, but let me know what you think of the name in the comments. So it's an 8-man tournament, and it's Cody Rhodes versus Shawn Spears, and then Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin. Okay, cool. Rematches of Cody and Shawn was all the way back last year, and Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin had a really good goddamn match. That was a goddamn car wreck at AEW Revolution, but boy, it was a lot of fun. So, good idea. Do this. I'm interested to see who the next 4 guys are going to be that are going to be announced tomorrow on Dynamite, or today on Dynamite, depending on when you are watching this. So, cool. All right, good idea. And I assume the champion will maybe be crowned at, maybe they'll be crowned at All Out or Double or Nothing. No, it would be Double or Nothing in May. I know an 8-man tournament, like, they aren't going to get it going just yet, but it would be a pretty good idea to do that, provided that they can actually have the pay-per-view, and it's not just, they don't have to delay it. Hopefully not. So, we have Schiavone and Cody doing in-studio commentary, and the problem is the pitch was a little bit off. Like, it was obvious that they were just doing this from the studio, and they were just calling the stuff. They had some pretty good quips, but just something was distracting about that. Like, the audio mix. I know it sounds like a bit of a quibble, but I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, Matt Sells, who I believe was on last week's episode, versus Sammy Guevara. Aubrey refereed the first 3 matches on this. And Cody mentions the Mulkey Brothers. Matt Sells kind of reminds him of the Mulkey Brothers, but he's a lot more tan. The Mulkey Brothers, by the way, famous jobbers during Jim Crockett Promotions, their heyday, studio wrestling, that kind of Mulkey Mania running wild. Anyway, Matt does a few moves, actually gets some good stuff. Sammy gets a cutter. He pulls him up after that, and he kind of just does a whole bunch of shit. Like, he's, just stalling everything, does a nice delayed verticals, doing the double bicep pose, all that. He's stalling a lot. Matt does come back with some moves, though. Hits a nice neck breaker for 2. He does push-ups, and I believe Cody was the one that said he's humping the mat. And that just cracked Schiavone up like crazy. But in the end, it was the feast your eyes, what Dominik Dijakovic does. Sammy did that. It was burning GTS is what they call it. That's what Sammy's probably going to hate it, but that's what they call it, is what Cody said. Anyway, there we go. Sammy cut the promo. I'm the best ever. I'm the ruler of all wrestlers, and you all bow before the king. To something to that effect. Shawn Dean versus Shawn Spears. Shawn on Shawn action, and it's Shawn, the Captain Dean, and well, he did some poses and tried to do some stuff, but Shawn Spears pretty much just dominated him and hit the C4 for 3. That was about it right there. It wasn't a short squash match that we would get. We get Darby Allin versus Preston Vanilla Vance. I almost said Vanilla Ice. Really, really tried hard not to say that. Vance actually has a good look. He had some early offense. It's some nice stuff. Darby did come back with some good stuff. There was, a nice early German, actually, by Vance. He did a really good job with that, like getting Darby during his entrance. Preston wouldn't be a bad idea, maybe to, feature him a little more on Dark and maybe sign the guy. He's got a good look. Reminds me a little bit more of a natural Chris Masters. But he does some nice groundwork, a nice pump kick. Hits some nice forearms. Darby does come back with a nice dive. Darby does the best goddamn dive. Just throws his body into them. Hits a nice code red, ripcord cutter by Vance, and a pop-up cutter, but for only 2. And then after the Stun Dog Millionaire and the Coffin Drop, 1, 2, 3, Darby Allin wins. Because of course he wins. We think of Jon Moxley versus Fabu Andre. Fabu! If you get that, I love you. I also can't do a British accent at all. If you get that, it's Fabu. I'm actually going to be amazed if anybody understands that. He is the monarchy of manliness. And he's all just having fun, flamboyant, stuff like that. Cool, all right. He has a cool theme. Moxley was manning the hard camera. And then just walks there with his championship, walks down, and it's not really much of anything. Fabu does get a nice arm drag counter at one point, and then Moxley just takes over, gets upset, Gotch pile driver variation, and STF gets the tap out. And then it was like 1 minute long, 5 seconds long, and then Hager attacks Moxley and does the triangle choke on the bottom, on the ground. It's a good idea. And I guess that's Moxley's first feud for the championship. Look, as long as Hager loses, it's a good idea because you're using somebody that's basically a mid-card guy. Sorry, Hager basically is mid-card, competing against a main event guy. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. I hope to God that Moxley just beats the piss out of him in 10 minutes. But they could do worse, but I'm still not really sold on Hager for a variety of reasons. Anyway, it wasn't a bad show. It was an empty arena show. What do you want me to say? I'm not going to grade these empty arena shows. I'll grade them once crowds come back. Wasn't a bad one, though. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.